Today on the Savage Board Gaming channel, a strategy review of Azul. Okay, so I'm going to play a game of Azul here. I originally had audio recorded also, but I started singing during it, so I decided to re-record the audio. So in Azul, the main places you want to try to get are these three middle columns, simply because you can connect the more tiles. So the blue centerpiece, the two yellows and the two whites are really good, and then going outwards is how you want to build. So I grabbed these two blue. Charles grabs the red, and I'm just gonna call him T4. Seems like he's new to Azul, but again, looking at their ratings, you never know because they might play at home a lot. I tried not to focus on this bottom row in the first turn, because you're wasting a bunch of tiles on like 1 point where I could score way more points by filling the first 3 rows. So my main goal whenever I play Azul is to get at least 1 column, 2 rows, and maybe a diagonal. That's what I'm trying to do. So everything's going to be working towards that goal. See, now TK's filled that, or T4 has filled that bottom row. So it's like, now what does he do? Does he go after the blue so he gets more points? But there's not enough blue out there, so he kind of put himself in a pickle there right off the bat. As you see, me and Charles are going after the same thing. Red, yellow, blue, but I won the blue race, so he kind of backed off a little bit there. So the reason why these inner ones are so good, so let's say I chose the middle row black as the color I start with. There's only 5 different tiles that connect to that, right? Whereas the middle tile has all 8, or the middle blue, or the white or light blue, depending on how you look at it, also has 8 different tiles that connect to it. So it gives you more options to build from the center out. So the red's there. With a newer player, I wasn't sure if TK was going to take the red. He put that back for a second, like, oh no, right? And he threw it on the ground. But that's okay. I pick up the yellow, right? Because it's right next to the red. So when somebody does that to me in the first round, my new goal is to have the red tile be one of the last tiles I place. That's because I'm going to work on this middle column, right? And if I put that in last, if I have the full row, I'll get 10 points, which is just as good as a diagonal in this game. So if you never played Azul, you get bonus points for rows. You get 2 points for every row you make. 7 points for every column, and then 10 points for every diagonal, or one of every of the same color. So it's all the reds, or all the blues, or all the blacks, right? So starting round 2, I'm going to look for, colors that are next to what I've already started, and to try to fill in that white for. If I could find a way to start the bottom row black also, I'll do that, but black gets taken here, so before I can grab it by Charles. No, not by Charles, must be by T4. I know I don't get it this turn. Maybe I do if I can't remember. I don't know. Yeah. T4 takes it. So when you do that, he's still focusing on these bottom rows, right? And he's not getting all that many points off of it because look how spread out everything is. Now, I could have taken these two blacks to block him for this round, basically, but I figured that Charles would do it. If I can make Charles do it instead of me and complete this row, or complete this collar, then I'll do that. So my next goal is to get like red or yellow or the blue or the white 3. I can't do white, so that's out of the question, right? So next step is yellow, I believe. That's what I go for. I take the 2 yellow out of the middle. Okay, so as you get near the end of a round, you can start figuring out, well, if this happens, how many turns are left in this round, right? The last thing you want to do is be stuck with a whole bunch of tiles at the end. And you can figure that out just by going through the scenarios in your head. Like right now, if this yellow with the red and 2 red and a blue are taken, right? Oh, let's start here, right? So if the yellow is taken, there's 3 rounds left, right? In fact, I think there's 3 rounds regardless. So I was going to take that, but I said, you know what? Let me grab the 2 blue here. Did I get the 2 blue? I might have taken the 2 red. No, I did finish my yellow. I think I figured I could get the red later because, you know, if they take the yellow or blue off the factory, then I have 4 red here. I can throw them in my bottom, I guess. Which is not ideal. Not ideal by a long shot. But I think I take the 2 red here, put them in the second row. Because TK didn't know he could stick me, I guess, there. Games of Azul can be very cruel and mean at times. Now, with this yellow here, it doesn't connect to anything he has. So, yeah, you throw it on the floor, right? It gives you an option later on because he already got 2 rows started. If he starts a 3rd one and can't finish it, then he's in a world of pain. So now normally you want to go first as much as possible. In this game, for some reason, I just didn't. I didn't grab that starter tile as much at the beginning. But near the end I start grabbing it more. Really, I want these blacks to start coming together in the center. So and I do believe I block Charles here from finishing his whites, if I'm correct. Yeah, so I take one of those, make it harder for him to finish this bottom one. Plus I need to fill this up, this whole row up. And I'm already 1 turn behind in doing that because, you know, Charles has 2 already in his top column, 2 in his middle column. And this game ends once a row is filled in completely. So sometimes people will race to fill in a whole row and just try to win by having the most points by racing towards the end. Sometimes I'll do that. I'm not a big fan of it per se, because you might miscalculate your points that you have. So I think by getting, this row almost complete, because if I need a red only, that means I pretty much have this row in place. Like, there's not going to be too many ways they can stop me unless very few red come out. So he's putting his third in the middle column, but I also have a third in the middle column, so that's fine. I'm pretty sure he wants to catch up on the top also. What worries me is T4. Like I said, he only has a rating of 1. It's like his first game in here, and I'm not sure what his experience level is, because he could be really good. For all I know, he might have played a physical copy of the game, hundreds of times. But just from the way he's been doing things, it seems like he's not real knowledgeable about certain things in the game, unfortunately. Hopefully by playing against people, he'll pick up some things, but unfortunately he came in with a couple of people who are have at least some knowledge of how the game works. Alright, so let's see here what works for me. I want the blue. I put it in my 4. Yep. So it looks like blue is going to be my diagonal. Simply because yellow, right? To get the yellow one, I have to go all the way out to here, right? But I'm really focusing on these 2 columns, right? So getting the blue here, getting the 1 here, and the 5 here is probably going to be more points for me, because I've already filled in 3 yellow. They left me 2 blue. Not that they could stop me, because there was another factory with the blue. So I'm going to grab a black here for the first column. Oh, I do the black in the second column also. So when you're playing with newer people, you have to assume that maybe they don't have enough knowledge to play the game a certain way. So I have to take that into account. Coming up here in the next round, I think I take a blue 1 to prevent T4 from ending the game. I think I was okay either way, but I wanted to finish up that 10-point play, because I knew I would cement it 100% if I did that, right? So I have my column all ready to go. It's good for me. Charles didn't add anything to this second column. He'll add something to the first column, I believe. I think white, yeah. So now we're tied with the race to the end. The problem is, I believe TK puts a yellow in the top, which is a little bit scary. Yep. So I put the white here because, that's a 6-point play if I fill it out. I'm set up very good for my diagonals as long as blue come out. They do. There's 2 2s and a 1. So I'm going to focus on, I think I take this white first to get that first player marker. Oh no, I don't. I forgot I didn't go next. So T4 goes next. So my goal is to get the blue 1 for the top row and 2 blue for this 5th row, right? Lots of red have been taken, you know, so see there's 5, 4, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, you know. So if I could stop Charles from getting his 5 here to complete his diagonal. He has a column. I have a column. I want to have 2 rows, so my next step is I think I did that so I didn't get stuck with a bunch of stuff. I'm not sure. Maybe that's not the most optimal play. Charles takes 2 blue. That leaves 2 blue left. This is where it gets scary. At any moment, T4 could take a blue and end the game, right? He could fill this in. That gives him a row. Triggers end game. So let me get my blue. I was hoping that Charles would take the blue to extend the game, but he takes yellow. Which then makes me react. Like, well, I'm not going to let you have that yellow, right? So I take the 2 yellow on my turn to prevent him. We both end up with 3 here as a stalemate. We both know next turn's going to be the last turn, regardless, as long as T4 doesn't end it. And right now I do have a little bit of a points lead. So I decided just to take a chance, grab the yellow. I grab the blue and I throw it on the floor on my turn to prevent T4 from grabbing it at the end here. I thought about it, but I'm like, I can't rely on somebody. Oh, I did rely on somebody else. Should never rely on somebody else. But Charles has a little bit of knowledge. He knows to take that so that the game is extended 1 more turn. And we will start seeing a stressful situation start to unfold here once we start taking tiles out for the next round. Once again, you don't want to be the last one taking tiles, especially in that last round. We're like running out of spaces to put things, so I really wanted to finish this yellow off, but I said I could score more by trying to like finish these rows up. So I grabbed my red because it's definitely something I want to do, because that's 10 points. That's 5 and 5. It's 10 points here. Because you score in Azul by whenever you place your tile, everything touching it in a row. So there's 5 touching it here in a continuous row, and 5 touching it in this column. So We take that. It's 10 points. It's as good as a diagonal. So basically I have 2 diagonals. And a row. And a column. But the scary part is if we look here, I can't take any blacks in the bottom row. I can't take any blues at all. And everything's being thrown into the middle here. Once again, I thought about taking this, which I think I do take. No, I don't. Take the 3 white to finish off this row. That's bonus points at the end. I have 4 for my rows, 7 for my columns, and 10 for all the blue. So we're here to this point. I'm thinking, please do not throw everything in the middle. It's T4, who's a newer player. So what does he do? He throws everything into the middle, which then brings me to a long, thoughtful process here of, so I take these black to fill in this 3 here, right? And then put 4 tiles on my floor, right? Which is, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a lot of negative points. So what I do is I look at what the other people need, right? So Charles can't take yellow at all, so I'm taking yellow, right? Which makes him take one of the black because he can play some black here. So that gets rid of the black, which is dangerous for me. I think I waffle over this decision whether to put it in this column or in this row and finish it, which would give me 5 points. But then I'm losing a lot more, right? I'm losing these points here. Where I could just throw it in the bottom row, not score anything for the yellow, which is okay. It's probably better. I'm actually probably gaining points that way. So I throw it in the bottom row. There's 4 blue here, so T4 is going to take these blue. So all I have left is this one little blue tile, light blue tile, white tile, whatever you want to call it, right? Which I would just toss on my floor, factory floor. Okay, so I ended up with less broken tiles than Charles. And I beat them in the bonuses, of course. '81 to 73 to 70 something. I can't see it, but that's Azul. It's very interesting of figuring out who's going to take what and understanding, okay, if I limit somebody's choices, I can get rid of something I don't want, or letting the person behind you stop the next person, right? Instead of me doing it, let my opponent do it, right? But that all requires somebody who understands the game, right? But thank you for watching my video. If you like this content, please like, share, subscribe, comment. I will respond to comments that you put into my videos. I had somebody put in a suggestion for Heat about the legends, how they move in that. So I appreciate that help. That was go to there and get his name, Craig Elfenbein 9191. So thank you for that suggestion, and I'll catch you later.